A very good evening from the Hotel Intercontinental here in Malta. A great night of boxing ahead. Stacey Copeland here with you for Fight Zone TV. Let's get things underway with our MC, Rakeem Noble.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, those in attendance and those watching globally, let me start the introductions. Welcome to the Fight Zone. We are live tonight at the Intercontinental St. Julian's in Malta. Mr. Stephen Vaughan's Vaughan Group, in association with Prize Boxing Promotions and Fight Academy, bring you a night of championship professional boxing. All fights tonight are sanctioned by the Malta Boxing Association. Tonight, we will have 5 great nations contributing fighters to this fight. From the United Kingdom, Malta, Italy, Brazil, and Sweden. There will be 3 championship fights decided tonight. Titles being for the vacant Universal Boxing Organization Lightweight Championship, the vacant Commonwealth Silver Championship, and the vacant Maltese Middleweight title, which is a rematch from earlier on this year. Myself, I am ready. The officials are ready. The production crew is ready. St. Julian's, are you ready for the storm? One last time, are you ready for the storm? Introducing our first professional contest of the night. This fight will be sanctioned by the Malta Boxing Association. It will be a 4 rounds, 3-minute cruiserweight contest. Making his way to the ring, Ignazio di Bella. And his opponent, making his way to the ring, boxing out of the red corner, Brendan Needham. This bout will be 4 rounds, 3-minute in the cruiserweight division and will be sanctioned by the Malta Boxing Association. Fighting out of the blue corner, he's wearing the white and the black trunks. At yesterday's weigh-in, he came in at 88.6 kilograms. He brings to the ring a 38-fight professional record, having only been stopped on 4 occasions. Fighting out of Bulgaria, Sicily, in Italy, Ignazio di Bella. And his opponent, standing across the ring in the red corner. He's wearing the blue and the gold trunks. At yesterday's weigh-in, he hit the scales at 90.9 kilograms. He brings a perfect, undefeated professional record to the ring of 2 fights, 2 wins, 0 losses, and 0 draws. Fighting out of Sheffield, Yorkshire, United Kingdom, he is Brendan, the Nightmare Needum. Both fighters to the center of the ring.
I want a clean fight, okay? That under the belt. I want a very clean fight. Touch gloves, good luck.
Second out. Round one.
Well, a slight delay for the opening bell, and Brendan Needham really eager to get to the centre of the ring, but the bell's gone, and indeed we're underway now with our first fight of the evening. We join you from Hotel Intercontinental in St Julian's in Malta. And a good start for Brendan Needham here. This, of course, sanctioned by the Malta Boxing Association, and here we are for Fight Zone TV. What we hope will be a great night of boxing ahead. Kicking us off here, of course, in the blue and gold shorts, we have the man from Sheffield, Brendan the Nightmare Needham, boxing out of the red corner. His adversary tonight is the Italian Ignazio di Bella. He's in the white and black shorts with the red waistband, fighting out of the blue corner. 27 years old, Brendan Needham, so he'll be wanting to crack on with his career. This is third outing. I happened to be ringside for his debut. That was back in Rotherham in May against Eric Nazarian. And I do remember that night, what caught people's eye was that for a big man, there's great agility, and he's light on his feet, moves fairly quickly, and that's what we've seen here in this opening portion of the first round. The Italian in his opposite corner is 2-36. He's been stopped 4 times in those 36 losses, the 40-year-old Italian. Made his debut in 2018, and interestingly, his first 2 fights were in Malta. The rest since then have all taken place in Italy. Nice little combination there from Needham. Following his debut in Rotherham, his second fight, which was last time out in October, was a little further afield in London's York Hall. That was against Ryan LeBourne. So he's a lot further away from home this time, but that won't affect him, of course. He's brought a great crowd with him as well, and he did have a really good crowd in Rotherham for his debut, but it does appear that he's brought that crowd with him here to Malta, which is great to see that support for him. Crowd chanting and getting behind Needham as he throws a few feints and tries to draw Debella into throw-in to create an opening, but the Italian just maintains that high guard. Weighed in 5 pounds heavier, Needham, but I doubt that'll be the major factor this evening, because as you can see, a huge height and reach advantage for Needham, and that will cause Debella far more problems tonight. We've seen Needham throughout this first round utilise that height and reach advantage very effectively. It's kept him at range and distance the whole time. Debella really finding it difficult to find a way past those long levers. Used the uppercut really well, has Needham in this opening round. There it goes again, as we've seen in the replay. Lovely backhand uppercut, followed it up with a left hook to the body, which was a nice combination. Can be such an effective shot for a taller fighter against a shorter one, the uppercut, and he's used it really well, Needham, in this opening round. Needham choosing to take the stool. Debella standing and extremely relaxed in the Debella corner. The cornerman staying outside the ropes. And they're having a chat there, almost as if they're just having a general catch-up. Perhaps not even talking about the fight, it looks so relaxed, but of course everybody's different, how they like things to be in the corner. But second round underway, let's see what's in store. Debella with a little flurry, but Needham replies in kind. Back on that jab, again boxing at range. Really difficult for Debella to close the distance. Such is the long range, just the sheer height advantage that Needham has. He's able to just pick him off at will and throw any combination that he desires really here, Needham, but that's the difficulty for Debella being the shorter man. He's got to find a way, if he so desires, to get past those long levers, which either means lots of upper mobility and quick feet to close the gap, being prepared to take a couple on the way in, but I don't think we're going to see much of that from Debella, as he does seem content to just keep a high guard and tuck up and take what Needum has to offer. Fairly wild swing there from Debella. So Needum just steps away, resets his feet. It's got to stay switched on here, Needum. As you saw there, Debella just clipping him with a little hook. And it is easy at times for complacency to set in if there's not much coming back from your opponent. It takes another one there. And the corner won't want Needum to be switching off and taking these little shots because, of course, might not matter too much tonight, given that Debella doesn't appear to have a great deal of power. But these fights are all about preparing fighters at this early stage for what's to come. And as we say, these fights in the early stages are all about ticking the boxes. And one of the boxes to tick here might just be staying switched on and keeping that level of concentration, even when you've got an opponent who isn't bringing a great deal to you. Debella not too interested in engaging, just wants to tuck up and occasionally throw a little flurry of his own, as we see in here. A few hooks, which Needum is taking on the gloves and then replying. Really easy for Needum here just to throw at will, and we've seen most of the long shots and uppercuts, but some nice work to the body at times from Needum. But perhaps all too easy for him this one. There's really nothing to trouble him coming from Needum, from Debella. A fairly mild end to the second round, as both men make the way back to get further instructions. We can see here in the replay Debella attempting to launch an attack, but just fell short and went square with that hook as well. But not a great deal coming from Debella, so this one's about Needum and him maintaining his own standards here. Halfway through this one as we get ready for the third round. Entering the third round now. This one's scheduled for 4 threes. And as I say, in this early stages, we talk about ticking boxes, you know, whether fighters are going to be resilient, whether they can break journeymen down, whether they can dig in when they need to. There's all different types of boxes that need ticking before they move through onto different levels. And this one for Needum tonight might be a matter of, can you keep your concentration and not become complacent when there's not a great deal coming back? But also, can you maintain your own high standards when you've got a fighter in front of you who's happy just to tuck up, take what you throw in, and a little shake of the head there from Debella to say that uppercut didn't bother him, but I suspect he probably felt that one. And those are the questions that will be asked now. A little shuffle, a few antics and showboating from Debella now. Can Needum throughout that stay focused, and even on this is a very, very easy night's work for Needum. So what we'll be looking for here is for him to still go through the gears, keep the intensity and keep his own high standards. Nice combinations there from him. I would like to see him really sink those body shots in and see if he can hurt Debella. He's allowing Debella just to take a little walk there when he goes to work, and he is obviously really effective at range, Needum, as we've said, much the taller man, but also equally comfortable working up close. And when he does, he's putting some nice combinations together, particularly with the backhand uppercut and the left hook to the body. Let's see if he can really load up with them and perhaps cause some damage to Debella. Another wild swing from Debella. Slightly odd at times, this one, as the two men just happy to walk around and posture as opposed to getting on with swapping shots. But there we go, Needum puts a nice couple of shots together, but then allows Debella to posture and mock him a little, when really you'd want to see Needum building on that and going straight back at him, but he seems happy just to do the minimum at the moment. And this really is odd at times, how both men disinterested in engaging, when I would like to see Needum really step up here and try and perhaps force a stoppage. If he could really put some big shots together and sustain an attack on Debella, could we see him get him out of there? That's what we'd really like to see. More posturing from Debella. And a very odd end to the third round there. Well, I wonder what the Needham corner makes of this one. He's allowed himself to switch off a couple of times and get caught with hooks unnecessarily from Debella, and allowed him, after landing big shots, as we're seeing here in the replays, just to take a little walk and allow all the pressure to be taken off. Nice shots to the body. I do wonder if he really put a few together, could Debella find himself in trouble? But so far, he's taken everything that Needham has thrown at him as we get ready for the fourth and final round. Well, there's been a very low intensity feel to this one. It's been boxed at a slow pace, often quite odd in the way that both fighters have allowed one another just to almost take a breather and have a little walk. And let's hope that this sort of some little flurry there from Debella, working his way at Needham, but nothing to bother Needham as he just shoves him off and again replies with a few of his own. The crowd really got behind Needham in the opening round. They were very vocal. They've been flat and quiet since then, and really you can't blame them, because this one hasn't offered a great deal. As I say, often at times rather odd in the way that the two men have just been happy to stand off one another and take a walk. A really, really competitive division, this, the cruiserweight division. The likes of Lawrence Okoli, Chris Billum-Smith, Richard Riakpo, Isaac Chamberlain. It's a very, very competitive division with some cracking domestic fights, hopefully, in 2024 that we can look forward to in the UK. If Needham's going to look to be part of anywhere near that mix, maybe look at an English title down the line, he's going to have to make a statement in fights like this. I would really like to see him try and impose himself on the Italian here. Load up with some big shots and just see if he can force a stoppage. These are the kind of fights where he needs to really push on, and you can hear the crowd now getting behind him. That's what they want to see. They believe he's capable of it. We've seen little glimpses of what Needham can do. Let's just see if he can put it together. And as I say, if he wants to progress in this category, he really needs to be making a statement against an opponent like this. But again, both men just wandering around, almost avoiding each other rather than engaging. Into the final minute of this one, as we seem to be crawling to the end of this one. Again, both men just disinterested, not thrown for a good 15 seconds or so there. Bizarre at times, whether that's mindset or both needing to take a breather. Can't be sure. Debella just turning his back there. Needham's corner, shouting there for him to get to work. They'll want him to get the work rate up and get these under his belt, because it's not necessarily about what's happening now. This is about building for next year, and they want to see Needum put it on his opponent a little bit. Seeing a little bit of intensity here, but he's getting encouraged and praised from the corner for that, for putting some combos together. Well, rather odd at times, that one. But when Needum put the shots together, you could see he was far the superior fighter. Used his height and reach advantage well, and some nice work up close as well, particularly with the backhand uppercut and those hooks to the body. So good work all around overall for Needum. Would have liked to have seen him put it on him a little bit more. But let's get the final result from
And
our
after
MC.
4 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards, who scored this a unanimous decision. The Nightmare, Brendan Needham.
Well, no surprise there. Total shutout for Brendan Needham after a good performance. So that's the Sheffield man, Brendan Needham, going 3-0, which I'll be happy with another W on his resume.
Introducing fight number 2 of the evening. This will be a 6-round, 3-minute contest at the super middleweight division. Making his way to the ring, boxing out of the blue corner, James McCarthy. And his opponent, making his way to the ring, fighting out of the red corner, Elstead. This contest will be 6 rounds, 3 minutes in the super middleweight division. This fight will be sanctioned by the Maltese Boxing Association. Introducing the fighters. Fighting out of the blue corner, he's wearing the white and the gold trunks. At yesterday's weigh-in, he came in at 78.6 kilograms. He comes to the ring with a 10-fight professional record consisting of 2 wins, 1 draw, only stopped on 5 occasions. Fighting out of Liverpool, Merseyside, United Kingdom, James McCarthy. And his opponent, standing across the ring, fighting out of the red corner. He's wearing the black and the grey shorts. At yesterday's weigh-in, he tipped the scales at 78.6 kilograms. He brings to the ring a professional record of 11 wins, 2 losses and 1 draw. 6 of those wins coming by way of knockout. Born in Sweden, now fighting out of Jazeera, Malta, he is the former Swedish Pro Boxing Commission champion. He is Elstead.
A clean fight, okay? No hit behind the back. Stop. Touch gloves.
Well, here we go as we get our second bout of the evening underway. This promises to be an intriguing one, scheduled for 6 threes. And we've got fighting out of the red corner, the Swede, Niklas Elstead. He's in the black and grey shorts. And then in the white and gold, fighting out of the red corner, Liverpool's James McCarthy, a very tough, robust fighter who's been in with some big names, which we'll get to shortly. But be interesting to see how this one unfolds. Elstead, as you can see, has the height and reach advantage. That won't trouble McCarthy too much. Happy to come marauding forward and mix it if he needs to. So interesting with Elstead, he's from Sweden, but he lives in Malta now. As I say, he's the former Swedish champion, the 39-year-old, and McCarthy really getting at him early. He's going to have to try and get those long levers working, Elstead, and keep James McCarthy off, at least give him something to deter him from coming forward. Needs to be a little bit more commanding with that jab. Needs to keep the range and distance, because once McCarthy's up close, he's letting his hands go, and that could put Elstead in trouble. He's 39 years old, Elstead, and former Swedish champion. Made his debut in 2018. He's 11-2-1, been stopped once. And he was last out in April in Montreal, second round stoppage in that one. So he'll be looking to build on things here against McCarthy as he tentatively edges his way in. Not throwing that jab with too much authority, but McCarthy coming back with plenty of firepower. Elstead will have to be wary of that. McCarthy's corner encouraging him forward. His nice relaxed guard at the moment. McCarthy's not too troubled by anything that Elstead is throwing at him. Nice work to the body from Elstead, but you probably might be able to hear McCarthy's corner there telling him he's got to fire back, and he certainly is doing frequently. Last 30 seconds in this opening round is an interesting one, this one. Elstead, when he keeps the range and distance, is looking effective. When he lets McCarthy in close, he does look a little bit vulnerable as McCarthy loads up with those hooks. Last 10 approaching now. A couple of heavy shots from Elstead to finish the round as he pushes McCarthy back onto the ropes and then steps back off. Decent opening round, that one. You can see in the replay here, a lovely dip and then overhand right from McCarthy, which is a really effective shot against a taller fighter if you can time it well. If those land cleanly, then Elstead could find himself in trouble, but not too much for referee Edwin McAuliffe to do so far, as both fighters taking their instructions in the corners. Here we go into round two, and McCarthy, a real fighting mix. He's a Scouser but Irish on his dad's side, so a good mix there. The 32-year-old man from Liverpool, he was last out in September against Travis Waters, but he's been in with some big names. Sam Eggington, of course, been a world champion himself. He was stopped in the fourth round in that one, but great experience, no doubt. Last November at the Alexandra Palace, he was in with Michael Hennessy Jr. Again, a stoppage in the fourth round, but he had an absolute cracker in March at the M&S Bank Arena in Liverpool with Paddy Lacey. That was an all-Scouse battle, and that was a really good scrap by all accounts. So he's happy to mix it, and he's been in with some good guys, James McCarthy. So he's going to have to work for this one, Elstead. And he's back behind the jab again. Taking centre ring, he looks a little bit more commanding now, Elstead. And the problem is sometimes when he's throwing that jab and then just a little layback, if he does that every single time and McCarthy can read it, he only needs to slip that pouring jab, and if he comes over with the backhand like that, he's gonna catch Elstead. So he's gonna have to be a little bit more defensively astute, Elstead. It's not enough to just jab and lay back. Not against a fighter like McCarthy. Good work from McCarthy there. Nice and sharp with those shots. Elstead still seems a little tentative coming forward. Really does need to use that jab with a bit more authority. That was a little better there. McCarthy's corner telling him to keep away from the corner. It's a good ploy for Elstead to take centre ring, because then as the bigger man, he has all that space behind him if he needs to take a step back. He tucks up well there to take that flurry from McCarthy. Again there, because sometimes he's popping out that jab, Elstead, but the singles, and he's leaving himself wide open with that low lead hand. Sometimes that little layback is just not enough defensively. He needs to either double up with the jab, follow it with a backhand, or cover up a little better. He is leaving himself open. He's stepping in, getting in range, and then McCarthy just able to time it. And there it is again with that backhand. Elstead's got to be wary of that. Needs to be a little bit more defensively aware. Well, not too bad there from Elstead, but he is really going to have to be careful that sometimes when he's throwing those single jabs, and either he's staying in range or simply a little layback to follow it. As you can see, that's leaving him wide open and vulnerable to that McCarthy backhand, the overhand right, which is so far, he's timed it well, he's been fairly accurate. And it could only be a matter of time before he comes over the top with that one and causes Elstead some problems. So some adjustments to make defensively, and perhaps to be a little bit more authoritative with that jab, maybe double up, pushing back. But good work from both fighters in these opening 2 rounds. Third round underway then. And as you were hearing before, Nicholas Elstead is the former Swedish champion. Of course, that's not something that was possible in the pros until 2007. And that was due to a 36-year ban on Swedish boxing. That was for safety reasons, because the sport was deemed to be too dangerous, so they didn't sanction professional boxing in Sweden. And that was lifted in 2007. Took a little longer in Norway. That wasn't lifted till 2014, but they've always produced a steady stream of top quality amateur fighters. But of course now Sweden's had a chance to turn their fighters pro. We've seen some of the products of that. Badu Jack and Otto Wallin, of course, who will face a huge test in Anthony Joshua on the day of reckoning in Saudi on December 23rd as part of that incredible who's who of heavyweight boxing in Saudi. That's going to be some show, that. But Otto Wallin will be part of that, and he's come through that Swedish system. So can Elstead follow in his footsteps as he takes a few shots there from McCarthy? Elstead just attempting an uppercut at range. Looks like McCarthy could take this one to Elstead, but steps off him and allows him to do his work at times. Nice and relaxed McCarthy. Again, Elstead just tapping away with those shots and left himself wide open to McCarthy. He's going to have to tighten up defensively, particularly if he's going to progress it. And again, that's what we're looking for. Fighters to be able to adapt. Nice work to the body though from Elstead. But again, at times he leaves those little gaps and leaves himself open. Another big backhand from McCarthy. Just letting him know Elstead that McCarthy's still there. He's not going to be pushed around on those ropes. A tough fighter, McCarthy, and Elstead's going to have to put it on him if he's going to deter him from coming forward. It's something we used to hear at amateur tournaments when I used to go abroad and fight, and some of the onlookers used to say that particularly with some of the Swedish fighters, that because they do so many skills bouts, lovely lead left hook that we've seen in the replays there from McCarthy, that there was at times a lack of aggression, perhaps because of the way the system develops younger fighters and keeps it in that sort of very, very technical, but without the aggression that perhaps is encouraged in other parts of the world, let's say. Of course, that's not been the case with Otto Wallin and plenty of other fighters who we've seen come through since, but back in the day that was something that was raised, and perhaps also with having no pro ranks until 2007, maybe that was a factor as well. But let's see if Elstead can show us a little bit of that aggression now, and by that it's not necessarily meaning a lack of technique. It's a certain way of imposing yourself upon another fighter and stamping your authority on the fight, pushing them back and showing the referee and the judges that you're the one that's in charge and in control of the pace of the fight, and ringmanship is a factor as well, and I'd like to see a little bit more of that from Elstead now, as well as tightening up defensively. Single jabs again from Elstead. Would like to see him double up and follow up perhaps with a backhand or double that jab. See if he can push McCarthy back a little. Does leave himself open to the reply from McCarthy. McCarthy, although he's the shorter man, he's got quicker hand speed and is able to get at Elstead. Elstead there going down to the body, but then again steps off McCarthy. It's as well, in those sort of situations, Elstead, by stepping over to his left, allowed an out for McCarthy, and really you'd want him to see him step round in the other direction to keep him pinned on the ropes there and go back to work again. It's perhaps some little learning curves there in terms of body position and ringmanship. See, in this position here, you want him to step to his right to close him in, and he's stepping to his left and allowing McCarthy a route out. Better work from Elstead when he gets those long shots going. He needs to throw more than singles though. Better from Elstead, but then again just steps off and allows McCarthy to come back at him. He either needs to double up on those attacks or tuck up and move off out of range so that McCarthy can't reply. He doesn't need to stay there, Elstead, after his attacks. Is again getting caught there. Again, nice work from Elstead, and then stays there and allows McCarthy to have the right to reply. I want to see Elstead doing his work and then getting out of range so McCarthy can't reply, or going twice to double up on these attacks. Good work from Elstead at range. Nice backhand. That's better from him, getting out of range after he got his shots off. So again, some small improvements in between these rounds for Elstead, but would prefer it if he got his work done at range and then stepped off, rather than staying there and allowing McCarthy to have the chance to reply. I'm sure that's something they'll be working on in the corner, so that they take instructions from their coaches. Penultimate round now, then this 5 of a scheduled 6. We've seen some improvements from Elstead. Does seem a little tentative still going forward. That's better defensively from him, stepping out of range, not staying there for McCarthy to reply, and then goes back to work. That's much better from Elstead. Can he keep him in the corner now and not allow McCarthy an out? Goes to work again. Not a great deal of power in those shots. Elstead doesn't put his body behind it. They're more what we would call arm shots. There's not too much rotation in the hips and sinking those shots in, but it's better work from him in terms of volume of punches. And that's better now. He's stepping away out of range rather than staying there and allowing McCarthy to reply. That's much better from Elstead. Perhaps those are the adjustments he's been asked to make in the corner. Can't switch off though. He's got to continue to doing that. If he switches off, McCarthy comes over the top and connects. It could be trouble for Elstead. So he's got to remain concentrated. Got to focus here on maintaining that distance and range from where he's far more effective as the taller fighter. A little bit out of range there, Elstead, as he lunges over with that backhand. He's allowed McCarthy up close again though, and he lets his hands go with a nice selection of shots. Lovely uppercut there from McCarthy. He just backs onto the ropes and allows Elstead to go to work. Tapping away with those shots, and there is a risk in that for Elstead. If he's just tapping away, he's letting McCarthy know he's in range. And if he just slips one of those tappy jabs, he can really let his hands go, McCarthy. As I say, a tough fighter. He's been in there with some top quality operators. As he just tucks up, applies with a nice screw shot. Entering the closing stages of this 5th. We haven't seen much of a gear change from Elstead. He's not up the intensity at any periods in this. It's been fought pretty much at the same pace. Let's see if he can step it up in the closing 10 seconds of this one. He's having to tuck up to weather a few shots from McCarthy here at the closing stages of this one. And that's another thing we'd like to see in terms of defensively being a little bit more switched on, which we did see glimpses of that from Elstead. He got his shots off in that round and then stepped away to create a gap between him and McCarthy, not allowing McCarthy to come back, because when he stays there, that's when McCarthy's able to reply with a few fast hands and get his shots off. So that was better from Elstead defensively. I'd like to see him in this round just go through the gears, up the intensity at stages, and really try and put a little bit of pressure on McCarthy, particularly when he has him up on the ropes, just not to allow him a way out, to double up on those attacks. Let's see what the final round has in store. It appeared that Elstead's corner there was encouraging him to block the shots that are coming in, and you can see that tight guard there. McCarthy's come right out of the blocks in this 6th round, putting Elstead under a little bit of pressure. He's coming back with some long shots, but again, fairly predictable work from Elstead. No power in those shots, allowing McCarthy to come back again. Lands a decent body shot there, Elstead, but then again follows up by stepping away and lets McCarthy off the ropes. McCarthy just tucking up, everything landing on his gloves or his elbows. Does seem that he's got good support with him this evening, McCarthy, which is good to see. Of course, comes from a real fighting city of Liverpool, produced many champions, and they've got some great gyms as well in that neck of the woods, all within a walking distance, as Elstead pushes McCarthy back on the ropes again and goes to work. Takes a few in return though from the man from Merseyside. It's got a nice style, McCarthy. Tucks up well. Nice hooks and uppercuts that he's, as he rolls. His corner encouraging him to put the work in here, as Elstead just teeing off at range, but then again stays there and allows McCarthy to reply. Takes a few solid shots from McCarthy there. There's a little bit of spite in those body shots from Elstead as he sinks those in. But when he does really up the ante a little bit, it tends to be with those body shots. Doesn't tend to unleash any real power to the head, but when he goes to the body, he seems to really try and sink those in, the Swede. Nice body and uppercut combo from Elstead there, and he is doing better at keeping the distance, stepping back, but he finds himself with his back to the ropes here. Pushes McCarthy off. 30 seconds remaining in this one. Good work from Elstead. Just goes a little bit square with his feet though when he comes forward, particularly when he brings in that backhand uppercut. Brings his right foot round and ends up squaring off balance. He's got to watch that as well, but applied himself well overall in this one, the man from Sweden. Lives in Malta, of course, Elstead. A little bit of defensive work to do as this one closes out. Interesting contest between two very different styles, different physical attributes in this one between Elstead and McCarthy. You can see a few of the highlights here replayed. That nice long jab from Elstead. Just manages to evade the reply. A wild swing from McCarthy, but a good bout for our second of the evening here at the Hotel Intercontinental in Malta with Fight Zone TV. You've seen some of the replays, some nice tidy work from McCarthy, really effective on the inside, and then see him having to take care of some defensive duties on the ropes, which again he does well, but some nice body shots from Elstead in this one. Both fighters come together and show their mutual respect for one another. We'll await the official announcement for the result from our MC, Rakeem Noble.
And after 6 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecard for a unanimous decision in favor of Red Corner, Elstead.
Well, there we go. A good win for Elstead then. He'll improve to 12 wins, 2 losses and 1 draw. So good night's work for Elstead. McCarthy, a good opponent, which asked him plenty of questions, plenty for Elstead to work on. But a good second bout for the evening, with plenty on the way. Top of the bill, of course, Christian Schembri and Elton Azzopardi for the Maltese middleweight.